Hey there, creepy peeps, and happy Tuesday to you guys. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, so today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different, which actually it's not even that different. It's a movie review, but hear me out. So created the whole Dissecting the Macabre series, right? Where I talk about kind of like the most popular, influential horror movies in the genre. Well, while I'm still going to do that, I realized there's a limit to how many of those I can do. While there are a lot of those kind of classic must-see horror movies, there's not an infinite amount. And I realized while preparing for this week that I was like, I'm gonna run out of those movies to discuss rather quickly. So I thought I would do Dissecting the Macabre every other Tuesday, and then on the other Tuesdays, I'll review an indie horror movie. Cause yeah, even doing 2 movie reviews, a stale and a new movie review a week, there's still movies I'm missing, I feel like, you know? Cause I get a lot of good indies from Horror Pack, but sometimes they're new releases, like they came out this year, but then like the mainstream releases kind of take up a lot of that time, especially around this time of year when I feel like we have a new horror movie coming out every weekend the closer we get to Halloween. So that kind of takes up all that time, and then they don't fit the stale movie criteria because they came out this year. But Horror Pack does give a lot of indie features, so I figured I can work the indie features in every other Tuesday, and then Dissecting the Macabre every other Tuesday. And I have a whole bunch of screeners sitting in my email that, again, I haven't gotten around to because they're like technically new releases. And you know, with like It coming out, and we have a whole bunch of other movies coming out soon, that I'm not going to be able to get to those right away. That's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be reviewing an indie feature which I received a screener for, called Cold Moon, directed by Griff First. So Cold Moon is like a kind of like ghost revenge story. A girl is murdered by some mysterious person, and then her spirit comes back to seek revenge on her killer. Meanwhile, her brother and grandmother that she left behind are also trying to figure out who her killer is, because I do not believe it was an accident, of course. So that's what we got going on. So let's get right into what I liked about Cold Moon. I loved the atmosphere of it. Everything I just really loved. It was set in Florida. I think they call the town Babylon, Florida, which is not a place that I'm aware of. But it had that very, like, you know, kind of very small town feel, even though it was set in modern times. As far as I could tell, it was set in modern times. But it was all very like a small town feel. I liked the atmosphere, you know, like the small town where everybody knows everybody. I think that makes for good drama stories, because you have a whole bunch of interpersonal drama coming to play with everybody knowing everyone. So I thought that worked really well for the movie. For some reason, it just made me think of True Blood, which I don't know why, and I can't even, there's no vampires in this, there's no werewolves in it, there's no fairies. So I don't really know why it made me feel like I was watching True Blood. Maybe just like the setting. I think it maybe had to do with the setting and everybody's accents. But I just felt like I was watching True Blood. I do like the point of view of the movie. Without giving too much away, you pretty much follow the killer for the most part. And obviously I'm not going to reveal who the killer is, but it is revealed very early in the movie who the killer is, because you're following him for most of it, because this is kind of like a revenge story. So of course we have to see the ghost getting her revenge on her killer. So that kind of leads me into my dislikes. I think they revealed the killer a little bit too early. I understand that it was supposed to be a revenge movie, but yeah, they just, I don't know, I just feel like they revealed his identity way too early, and like halfway between the reveal and the climax of the movie, it just felt like it was dragging, and it felt like we were seeing the same thing happening. Like whenever the ghost of the girl would come to scare him or haunt him, I felt like we were just seeing the same scenes over and over again. So either I wish they had come up with something different to show, or I wish they'd maybe just pushed back the reveal a little bit more, so that way, you know, we wouldn't have lost that build into the high point of the movie. Yeah, they revealed it just a little bit too early. And just, in my opinion, I feel like the dialogue was a little bit dodgy at times, like a little bit awkward, a little bit unnatural. And I think it was the writing. I'm always iffy saying that, because like you can never really know for sure unless you have like the final script in your hand when you're watching the movie. You can never really know if it was the writing or the acting. But I feel like it was the writing, because there's quite a few familiar faces in the movie, and I've seen them in other things before, and it's not, I've not seen them that bad. So I think it had something to do with the writing or something, or maybe the way it was edited, I don't know, but there were some parts that were a little bit awkward and unnatural. So, answer the question, should you watch Cold Moon? I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I don't think that it's exciting enough to warrant a watch. It's just kind of one of those, like, you watch it and then you forget it. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. I'm gonna go ahead and give Cold Moon 2 watery graves out of 5. On IMDb, it has a 7.2 out of 10. So maybe I have the unpopular opinion. I didn't have a chance to read the reviews, but if you've seen Cold Moon, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. I will look and see if it's out anywhere yet. It very well might be. This was one of like the screeners that had been sitting in my email for a little bit. Gmail sends them to, you know how it automatically sorts your mail? It sends them to promotions, which I don't normally look in, because that to me is kind of like the junk mail almost. That's where you get like all the like newsletters from all the shit that you buy online and stuff like that. So I don't typically look in there. So when I say there's a few screeners sitting in my email, they've all been sitting in that promotions tab, and I wonder how many I've deleted, because I usually just mass delete that folder. Oh god. So this was I don't know how long it had been sitting in my email before I watched it, but the password and everything was still good for the screener, so maybe it wasn't too long. So if it's available on video on demand or something, I'll put that somewhere in the description box so you can check it out if you want to. Yep, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe and become a creepy peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay strange.